live stream. June 30th producer. It's the
second
June,
one.
Several whole hours.
Yeah, the June 2 producer live stream, not the July one. For those
who
who
do the stream, then do Moscow plays all 15 chapters.
Correct. I saw someone in chat. Like, is Moscow going to stream the entire Dark Verse Light event in one sitting? No,
that's a great idea.
This is a fantastic idea.
This is how the marathon stream happened. Exactly like this.
Can we make a petition, please, someone on the forums for Moscow to do the Dark Verse Light event marathon, please? Because if enough people ask for it, then we need to give.
We can't refuse them.
My hands are tied. Is that how that works? I don't know how that works.
I think it's how it works, but I think in this situation it could work.
Probably. So for those who are new to a producer live stream, my name is Eric Musco. I'm the community manager.
I'm Ben Irving, the producer for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
And I'm Charles Boyd, the creative director for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
The stream goes about 30 minutes. I think today's is probably going to take a bit longer than 30 minutes. We have a lot to cover today. But without any further ado, shall we just dive in?
Yeah, let's go through.
Let's do it.
So the agenda for today's stream will be as follows.
Here we go.
So we're going to do our State of the Galaxy, go through community topics. We actually have the most number of community topics that we've had in one of these streams, so I think we'll spend quite a bit of time talking through that.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Chapter 15 going live, the Gemini Deception, give a brief reminder about where we're at with subscriber awards. Star Wars Celebration is coming up in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Which we just reminded ourselves of today.
And then
we'll
Panic Attack.
We'll talk about our presence there. We've got some exciting things going on at Celebration. We want to talk about the Dark Verse Light event. So there's a lot of activity in the forums and through social media around Dark Verse Light. So we're going to talk through some of our thoughts on the event and try to talk about some of the issues people have brought up.
Yep.
And then Charles will give us a little tease into Chapter 16, the Battle of Odessen.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Some light spoilers.
Some light spoilers. All right, so let's talk about community topics. We always have this section. We always want to open with it just to kind of address some of the things that we've seen in the forums, in Reddit, I almost said, and social media. So let's dive in because we have, as Ben said, more than ever before. Mm-hmm. Cartel market update. For those that don't know, a new pack came out, the Gemini pack. There's some changes to how the pack operates. We've introduced bronze items back into the pack. The short version is the price went up to before Fallen Empire prices because we had introduced the number of pack items that are in it. I'll link it in the wrap-up, and actually Tate can link it in chat. I have a whole forum explanation of all the stuff that changed in the pack. Just wanted to call it out because it came up quite a bit in the forums.
So the recruitment mission, Gus, actually you're going to talk this.
Yes, good old Gus, as we all know, is a master con artist, master of disguise, master of deception. So he had us all fooled thinking that we might get a chance to meet the fabulous Gus Tuno this month. Unfortunately, that turned out to be a disappointing lie, and we all are very sad here about that. But there are actual good reasons why that happened.
Yeah, and so because we love the lore side of Gus's treachery, but the reality was we found out last minute there was a bug that if lots of people were doing this at the same time, it just wouldn't work. It would have been a big problem for the majority of people, and our decision was either delay the chapter or push Gus out and keep the chapter coming out on Tuesday. So we decided that the chapter was more important, that should go live, and as soon as we can get this problem addressed, we will put Gus out with the next game update.
Absolutely.
So we'll announce when that is once we solve the problem, but hopefully as soon as possible.
Yep.
Heroic missions.
Yep.
So we made a change with Tuesday's patch where we reduced the amount of credits you receive for completing heroic missions. The idea behind this was to kind of bring heroic mission credits in line with other activities in terms of how much time investment there was. The problem with this was we didn't effectively communicate this with you guys. We left it out of the patch notes 100% by mistake. So what we've agreed to do is we're going to roll this change back. We're going to put the credits back to the way they were before we made the change. We'll probably do that in the next big game update, so with Chapter 16 in around 3 weeks. That's as soon as we feel comfortable making that change. And then if we decide, or kind of probably when we decide in the future to make an adjustment like that, we'll be sure to give you guys a lot of advance notice. So we're going to set it back for now. Probably it will stay that way for quite some time. And if we decide to make that change in the future, we will do so and communicate it with you in advance.
Right. Yep. And again, our bad. It was not intentional that we left. We weren't trying to hide.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not something that we could hide. It was never intended to hide. We just missed it. So, but story companions. So we've had this issue brought up for it's been rumbling for a while. We're going to not spoil anything in the explanation.
Right.
But do you want to explain what this is?
You know, looking back over the years, you know, I remember a time before launch even where you could frequently make decisions or things could happen in the story regardless of your decisions where companions or other story characters would disappear, would die, would leave, and that was deeply frustrating. We ended up pulling it out of the game at launch, which I was always sad about.
Same.
So with Fallen Empire, we reintroduced it. We really wanted to make those decisions impactful. We really wanted the story, you know, to have real teeth, you know, to have real consequences, real dangerous stuff that could happen. But as a result, there are, you know, people who play the game a lot who have their favorite companion, their favorite character that they've put tons of time into. They've put tons of leveling into them, you know, raising their skills and stuff. So it's really important to us that those players don't feel screwed, for lack of a better word. So we are going to we are looking at a way to kind of resolve that for them, to give you a way around it. Essentially, we're looking at the terminal that you find in the Odessen base that you can already use to get your companions back from before Fallen Empire. We are looking to add any character that was a companion, other than one that you're all going to say in chat, Darth Mar, other than him. Any character through the Fallen Empire.
There was the mild spoilers.
Any character through the Fallen Empire storyline that could be lost for whatever reason. We are planning to add to that terminal, hopefully with Chapter 16 again with 4.7. We'll let y'all know that for sure as soon as we know for sure that it's working and functioning. But that is our plan, so that if you put a lot of effort into a companion and you want to get them back just for gameplay, kind of outside the story, you'll be able to do that.
Yep. So I'm going to press this next button, and it's two words that we see together a lot, especially in Twitch chat, is these two words together. Group content.
Right, group content. So the last time we talked about group content, I had said, hey, there are no short-term plans to release group content in Star Wars: Old Republic, but as soon as that changes, no matter how small information there is to share, I said to you guys that as soon as I had anything to share, I would share it. So I'm here with very little information, but it's information nonetheless, and I wanted to make sure we let you all know that we are currently working on group content. Now, I am not saying that it's operations, and I'm not saying it's a Flashpoint, and I'm not saying it's a Warzone. I'm not hinting any specific type of content that we may be working on, but we are definitely working on group content. I don't have more than that to say right now, but in the next few months, we'll be able to kind of talk through what that group content is, and ideally when it's going to be released as well. And as soon as we get to that point in time, I can't wait to share all of it with you guys. As soon as I have concrete information to share, I will absolutely do so. And so I wanted to at least reassure you that we are working on some stuff, and as soon as we can share it with you, we will.
Yeah, because we know there's been concerns about what is the status of group content. So we just wanted to make sure that at least you know it's being worked on.
Yep.
Yeah. Real quick, someone on chat just pointed out something I misspoke. Also HK. We're not saying why or when that happened, but because that was a subscriber-specific thing, he would be an exception to that as well.
Correct.
He will not be available.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good catch.
And then there's the Darkverse Light event. So I actually have a whole slide about this later. We are going to talk through, in a bit more detail than the rest of these topics, the Darkverse Light event, go through some questions people are having, share our opinions on the event. So we're not dodging it. That is coming just later in the presentation. We're just going to dedicate an entire section to it. So that will be coming in about 5 or 10 minutes.
We just may have a lot of questions about it, so this way you can spare your keyboards. We will get now, I will say, when we get to that section, anything that we don't cover, please put it in chat, because we want to make sure we cover all the questions around that topic specifically.
There is no question we won't answer for Darkverse Light.
He said,
I think.
He said.
Guaranteed.
He said.
Ish.
I should start inserting disclaimers. I feel like I need to.
That was the goal.
All right, Chapter 15, Gemini Deception. It's now available for all subscribers at this point. This is a really cool chapter. I've been really enjoying seeing the reactions to it. Again, no spoilers, but some crazy stuff goes down.
But would you say it's the best chapter ever, or?
Well, until the next one.
Okay.
I think every chapter is the best chapter.
That was kind of the joke, because I think we've been doing a great job at making meaningful improvements as we go, and every time a chapter comes out, there's always a best chapter ever thread. People have different opinions, but it's always feels rewarding for us to see those threads pop up.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a lot of love went into this chapter. A lot of cool new gameplay stuff that we hadn't done before. Really playing into some of the themes of the chapter, which I don't want to spoil yet again. But dealing a lot with Scorpio. We're going after the Eternal Fleet, hoping to seize control of the whole thing, turn it all around on Arkan. As usual, plans don't always go the way you think. So go check that out and see what's up.
There you go. And of course we have to show
Ben flipping my image so that everyone's left-handed. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
we went through this last week.
I'm actually left-handed. That's the secret.
we went through this I would say last month, but earlier in June too, where they're all left-handed and Charles yelled at Ben.
All right, so also with Chapter 15, we had a new Cartel Market pack come out, the Gemini pack, and as has become a tradition, the last 3 streams or so, we are going to give out some of these prizes to some lucky winners.
Yep.
And today we're going to do it this way.
Yep, so go ahead.
No, go.
We're going to do a straw poll, so Tate's going to put a straw poll into Twitch chat, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to vote for one of these 3 items, which would be the Ragebound Monolith, the Gemini Pulse Weapon Tuning, and the Apex Sovereign's Armor Set, which we're going to get to in a minute which one's the best, because clearly one of them is the best.
Clearly one of them is the
The
best.
armor set. Go to that straw poll and vote, and then once we're done making our case on which one we think is the best item, we'll close the poll, and then we'll do a regular raffle, and we'll give away to, let's say,
3 people.
3 people. The
Maybe
item,
5 if people are nice to us.
correct. the winning item will get that. So, Ben, do you want to start? I feel like Ben's won more than lost in this contest. I don't like to give you credit for things.
He's very persuasive.
Yeah,
But
and when
if-
you say think, like it's a fact, you can just write it down. It's actually, there's a wiki page that outlines all the winnings in my history of debates.
I like that to think that you actually maintain a wiki page of
We're going to get Ben a trophy for Cartel Market debate.
Gosh, I'm not going to live this
champion.
down for a long time. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Yep.
So my favorite one here is the Gemini Pulse Weapon Tuning. I've started working on my Merc recently, and so having like 2, I think this specifically looks really good with pistols and guns, and so having 2 pistols with the weapon tuning looks really, really cool, as you can see in the GIF here. So I think, without a doubt, this is the best one of the 3. It's also a new feature that's added to customized weapons that's kind of newer to the game, so I think it's a bit more exciting for something fresh and new for you to customize your character with.
Charles?
Obviously, I'm going to have to go with the Ragebound Monolith mount. This was such a key element of the story back when Zyos came out. It was the first time we really saw what the Emperor could do, annihilating everybody. Spoiler. That was a year ago. Too bad. And then creating these horrifying dark side monstrosities that you can now ride around in style, which I think is just about the coolest thing ever. So take your shiny things and go home, Ben.
You really about argued me there. I can't even. Once you put lore into all of this, it's kind of unfair. We shouldn't have given Charles the lore option. That was kind of silly.
I need to make up my own background story. So the
luck with that on the spot.
Apex Sovereign Armor Set introduced new tech, which the Gree have been working on for centuries, which is they've put in visual effects on their capes. Normally it's on the armor or their weapons, but not
a fabric.
Not this time, on fabric now. It's brand new technology in a galaxy a long time ago.
This is going to make possibly our most compelling codex entry in the history of the game.
I hope someone's
let us
transcribed it.
invent lore in Star Wars: Old Republic live. Is that happening?
I'm mostly just disappointed that the story didn't include Kai Zyke.
I know. Oh my god! How did I miss that? I automatically lose. Don't vote for my option. I missed that opportunity.
All right.
So that's what we think is best.
What do y'all think? Let's see it.
Yeah, I feel like the Monolith may have been winning. It looked really strong. Tate, do you want to let us know which one?
Can we see the straw poll?
Yeah. Oh, I sure can. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's see if I don't pull it up on the wrong monitor. Okay. So let's see. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Crush
That's pretty crushing.
Crushing.
So undoubtedly, Charles Boyd has
The
won
winner
this
is the Pulse Weapon Tuning! No, it's not really. Charles,
Wow.
the Ragebound Monolith mount won by a landslide victory.
That hurts me on the inside.
48%.
Much like the Ragebound Monolith itself would do if given the chance.
That is true. That is true. So what we're going to do is Tate start up a raffle. We're going to use the word monolith. It's on the screen so you can spell it correctly. Please type the word monolith into chat. And I'm going to say that...
Well, hold on. Dark Lord Snake said he was the first to say monolith, so he gets one immediately.
Is
That's
that
not happening. No, I just...
I was like, is that fair?
Is that how the rules are?
Yeah. People are just going to start typing first. So type monolith into chat. People clearly are getting that message. Tate will spin up a raffle. While people are spamming monolith, should we progress forward, and then Tate can grab the 3 winners and let us know who the winners are?
I think now they can see that everyone else spelled it, so they don't need
Correct.
to
That's just copy. You can just copy. And Tate is saying Ragebound won by a huge lead, so I think Ragebound may have actually been a first. If that's true, Tate, and you've confirmed that, give that man a monolith, I think.
Hold on, but Ragebound is the monolith. He's saying that.
Ragebound. Oh, I thought Ragebound. I thought he meant the user.
Oh, user Ragebound? Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Thanks, Tate. So, as we've done this for 4 months now, 3-4 months now. We wanted to make sure to highlight some of the great community content that's going on in and around the community. Someone joked about this earlier in chat. Little did they know we were going to highlight it. So Unholy Alliance, a part of the Passionately Casual podcast, does this charity event. This is the second year they've done it, called The Revenge of the Muscos, where everyone has to make a character themed after me. And there are some ridiculously amazing ones in this contest. And they all get together and they do a bunch of different events and they level their characters, and it's all for charity. So I just wanted to call out that they did a great job, and of course it's for charity, so it's a cool thing.
I just noticed that there was a Chiss Musco in there.
There's no rules here, Charles. I can be whatever I want.
I love it.
So what do we think is the best Musco we see in this picture?
See, I can't weigh in because I'm actually a judge of the contest, so I cannot weigh in on who I think.
We actually don't care for your opinion anyway, so I think...
To be fair, I don't think I've won any of these things at all, so...
I actually was looking for the Don't Call Me Musco one, but I can only find a Call Me Musco. And I don't want to read too much into that, but I think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Robo Musco. I can only imagine how powerful Musco would be if he were also a robot.
It's true, I'd have actual strength then.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't go toe-to-toe with you. I think you'd get decimated.
It's pretty good. So that's a great charity thing that they've been doing for 2 years now, so good on them.
Cool.
As part of the Dark First Light event, like one of the crazy things that we've seen is just guides, and I mean, we posted our own guides for Dark First Light, but that will never stop the community, and they've gone well above and beyond what we've done.
In an awesome way.
Yeah, posted trackers and guides for every component of the event. So SWTOR Crafter, you can see the URL on the screen. It'll also be in the wrap-up. It just has some great crafting guides for how to level some of your crew skills. And then newoverlords.com, it's unfortunately being cut off by the camera, but I'll post a link to that. Has this great tracker. It's almost like basically a web Excel sheet where you can track, if you don't want to go through the achievement system in game, you can track your objectives and you completing them. So this is just a small highlight of some of the great content that players have been putting out for Dark First Light. So it's really, really cool to see. So good on them.
And keep contributing, guys. You know, it means a lot to the community at large, and we're super excited always to find new things the community has created.
Yep. So as a note, you guys can stop spamming Monolith. We have our 3 winners. Also, Tate called me dumb for thinking calling Ragebound was a person. Just want to call that out. Thanks, Tate. You're not wrong. So the winners, you want to read the winners? Do you want to read the winners, Charles?
Sure. We've got... I'm going to assume Tate typoed this and that it's bad idea, but it could be bad idea. Either way, you're a winner.
French. It's French.
Scrappy365, I'm hoping is sitting next to Scooby. And Midnight Griff, you are our 3 winners.
Charles is really judgy of people's names.
I saw a thing the other day that...
and Tate is yelling that
not
he
a
did
typo,
it.
so
not
I'm a jerk.
Okay.
It is...
So you are the 3 winners. Make sure to get in touch with the official account, or Tate will get in touch with you, and you will get Monolith Ragebound.
At him, I didn't typo it, just to make sure. Tate's got some insecurity issues.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry, Tate. I love
It's pretty good. Anyway,
just Tate.
Subscriber rewards.
Yeah, just wanted to remind everyone that make sure you subscribe by tomorrow in order to get access to the HK55 Victory Stronghold Decoration. We announced that last stream, but because we're still in June, you still have time to subscribe and get the reward. And also, almost maybe more importantly, because it's Chapter 16, getting 2 days early access to that chapter to make sure you get in, see the story before the spoilers start invading the interwebs, and experience it with fresh eyes amongst the first people able to do so.
Because you don't, otherwise you'd have to just not be on the internet for 48 hours.
Right. It's rough.
You don't want that ruined for you. Star Wars Celebration. Woo! So it's going to be from July 15th to the 17th. I'm going to remember this time. This is the biggest gaming presence that has ever been at a Star Wars celebration, and we are included in that. So if you're in London, I hope you already have passes. Definitely, it's going to be, I cannot express how excited I am for Star Wars Celebration. So we're going to be all over the place. First, EA Star Wars is going to have a booth presence. We'll be there all 3 days on the show floor. It's going to be us, Star Wars Battlefront, and Galaxy of Heroes. We'll all be there. So if you're going to be inside of the convention, please come by and see us. All three of us, in fact, will be there.
We'll just be hanging out. Come say hi. We can chat about whatever you want.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. So definitely come by and visit us. There's going to be an EA Star Wars panel. It's going to be held on Saturday, July 16th from 7 to 8 p.m. It's also going to be live streamed. It's going to be awesome. I highly recommend you tune in. James Olin is going to be there talking about the Old Republic. There's going to be announcements. There's going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
You want to tune into this panel.
Yeah.
100% you want to tune into this panel.
Yeah, you want to watch it. I highly recommend watching this panel. It'll be good. And then we're going to have a cantina, as we often do. It's going to be held from 8 to 11 at a place called the Fox Excel, which is literally right next door to the convention center. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a celebration pass, we don't care. Come on by. You don't need a pass to get in. One of the things we're looking at doing is opening an hour early and live streaming the panel into the venue. We're still confirming that, so don't get too excited about that just yet, but I think it's going to happen, so we'll announce that if that's going to be the case. But then you can watch the panel and drink, which
on
yes. Which I think is even better. And as always with Cantina, we'll all be there. We'll make sure to answer your questions. We're going to give away drinks. We're going to give away cool swag, Cantina exclusive mount.
And we might even have a special guest, maybe.
We might even have a special guest.
Or do we?
We might even have. We do. We
Is
might.
It maybe?
It looks 99.9% yes. Special guest will be there.
Very cool special guest.
Very cool special
guest. So be sure to pop in.
All right. So next we're going to talk about the Dark vs. Light event. But before we go into that, we never had a chance to talk about these two companions who are now the background of the Weblander. So Charles is going to talk a little bit about who they are and how you can potentially get one of them to join you and join your alliance.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm really excited. These are some cool new characters to meet. On the left here is Master Ranos from the Jedi Order. I love Jedi who don't always follow the standard rules and procedures, the sort of Qui-Gon Jinn style. And that is exactly the kind of Jedi Master Ranos is. She likes to walk the earth. She likes to get out there, spend time with the people. She's not about checking in with the council every 5 minutes, making sure that she's doing that. She's all about following the will of the Force, going to find people in need out on the streets, if
She's
you will.
more like a nomad or a wanderer.
Yes, your favorite words in the world. So yeah, Master Ranos is all about the day-to-day doing good. I can always appreciate a character like that. Of course, on the flip side, Darth Hexid. She is the Sithiest Sith who ever Sithed. She is a Sith hardliner. She wants to prove that the Sith and their philosophy are the supreme power of the galaxy. She wants to do this by annihilating everything that Zakul has ever said, done, touched, anything. She is out to wipe them from the face of the galaxy at all costs.
It's pretty specific.
Every little bit of it. And prove that the Sith are, in fact, the greatest power in the galaxy. So she's, she's fun at parties.
So one of the cool things is that would be the first Chiss companion we have, correct?
Yes, indeed.
And we've seen quite a few questions about, I don't know if you can answer this, about a Force-sensitive Chiss. Mm-hmm. So that has come up quite a bit where people are like, Chiss aren't Force-sensitive.
Well, who says?
I see one right there. And we've seen a couple questions.
There is a first time for everything. That's what everyone has to remember.
That is true. There is obviously a couple questions about if you can get both companions. Currently, you can get whichever side wins. That is one of the main reward structures of the event is, and we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end, but whichever side wins, dark or light side, which will dictate which one of these companions.
And we should just remind that, like, one of the goals of this event is, as you earn dark side points or light side points as part of your participation in the event by creating a new character and playing the game, you move the needle for light versus dark points. And each week we're going to post an update on the web page that shows that light versus dark meter sliding either way to show you which team is winning.
Yep.
And the whole idea is we hope that a bunch of you will kind of band together, form guilds, form alliances, form partnerships, and push the dial to whichever companion you would love to earn as a reward. Because if you unlock the companion through tier 4, then... Yeah, it's 4.
I think so.
I think so.
We changed the numbering at one point, so I'm thinking.
if you unlock the companion, then you will get either the light side version or the dark side version. So we hope there's some friendly competition to move that meter left or right to whichever character you think is the coolest, whether it's their appearance, whether it's a backstory, whether it's a name, whether it's their alignment. So that's just a cool part of it.
And just to be clear, it is every player playing the game on every server is added up, and there will be one decision made. So either everyone is getting one companion or the other.
Yep. Only one.
All right.
That could be only one.
Shall we dive in?
Yep. Good. Okay.
We have quite a bit to get to.
So there's a lot of questions here. Again, if we don't address anything, make sure you guys ask it in chat, and we'll do our very best to capture all the questions.
Yep.
So, first of all, let's talk a little bit about why are we doing this event. And I think before we get there, it's probably worth touching on what are we doing for all of our veteran and long-standing, most loyal subscribers and players in general. And so I wanted to start with that because I think it's really important, because we've made a really conscious effort this last year to give more rewards out to our loyal, dedicated fans than we have any year before. So we've had the monthly subscriber reward program that's gone out. We added the legendary status to the game, which I think is probably the coolest thing, which is if you've completed all 8 class stories, you get a really cool flare icon in-game that separates you from everyone else. If you are one of the most dedicated players of our game, you stick out amongst everyone else who plays the game, which I think is really cool. And the final thing is, we're building a special bonus chapter for all of our loyal fans. If you've been with us through the whole entire of the Fallen Empire expansion, we are making a chapter just for you guys that is coming out. I think we're going to announce the date next stream. That chapter is really fun, really cool.
It is one of the most ridiculous, and I can't even tell you how cool that chapter is going to be. I promise.
And we'll talk more about that next stream. But, you know, to me, we've put more effort on that than we ever have. If you think about the previous 4 years, we haven't put as much energy into trying to reward our subscribers as we have this year. And so the Dark vs. Light event isn't about that. I think we've been doing those things for all of you. The Dark vs. Light event is more focused around celebrating 5 years of Star Wars: The Old Republic. So as you guys probably know, we're coming up on our 5th year anniversary of the game. And so we said, what is the best way to celebrate and recognize 5 years of this amazing game where all of us have shared so many incredible memories together? And we thought, what if all these players are playing the game? What if we just said, hey, if you start a new character and play any part of the game, all of the expansions we've released over the last 5 years, go back and play the game, and if you do so, we will give you the best rewards we've ever given out for playing that content. And I think that's a really meaningful thing. Creating a new character also gets some of the nostalgia and some of the feels we all had in various expansion launches throughout the way. You know, it was awesome for us at 2:30 on a Tuesday afternoon seeing 7 instances of Tython spun up on some servers full of 150 people per instance. And in one area I was in, people were complaining that it was so busy there was no monsters left to kill. That's kind of how populated those starter areas were again. And to see people forming new guilds and writing strategy guides and trying to work out the fastest way to level. And so for us, that's what this event is all about. It's about getting to relive some of the experiences in this game and to give you guys better rewards, better incentives for doing that right now as part of this 5th year celebration. Let alone the fact that we're tying in the cool kind of dark versus light theme to everything, right? You know, what side do you prefer, the dark or the light? And how you play those characters influences the companion you receive if you get high enough in your tiers. So in our mind, that's why we've created this event. That's its intended goal, and that's what we're trying to achieve out of it. So now let's talk about some of the more specific kind of questions that have come up. So rewards is probably the big one, and I think I've already touched on it, but the intent isn't to reward people for things that have happened in the past. It's to reward you for things that happen right now as part of this event. You know, the legendary status is your reward for finishing all 8 class stories and having done that in the last 5 years. This time around, if it's specifically, I think the legendary status is one of the bigger concerns. That's not even a requirement this time around, right? You have to get 8 level 50s if you want to complete the highest tier possible. But there are 100 different ways you could choose to level your character. And in fact, you know, pro tip if you haven't already discovered it, doing the Warzone quest is a really fast way to get 5 to 10 levels very early on, right? We don't consider it an exploit. We consider it something that is free game for everyone. But do that intro quest, do the daily quest, do the weekly quest, especially if you're around level 10, you'll hit 20 real quick and you'll be on your way. So yeah, right now the plan is to keep the event as it is. We're not going to retroactively grant any of those things like we've already talked about for the reasons we already discussed. So yeah, that's rewards. So character slots is the next one. There are some people who have used all their character slots on a server. Yep. And they're saying, hey, well, you're making me create new characters. I don't want to delete characters. All my characters are meaningful to me, but I'm out of character slots. And we think you guys are right. So what we're going to do is increase character slots that are available to people to unlock by 10. And then we're hoping to get that out to you guys on Wednesday next week at the latest. So apologies for not having that available straight away. Yep. But as soon as we can, we're pushing that out. Increase your character slots by 10. Those of you who want to create new characters and preserve your current ones, just a couple more days and we'll be there.
Yep, and we'll have more information about that. Again, that should be coming next week, along with a couple of other changes to address some issues that were introduced in Chapter 15. So look for information that week about that stuff coming next week.
Dark versus light pack bind rules. So one of the other concerns that has come up is, okay, these are bind on pickup, which means that if I'm trying to collect an armor set as part of the dark versus light packs, and I get one portion of that on one character and a different portion on a different character, I can't trade them to each other to unlock it in collections. Yep. That is a problem, yes. We would love to resolve it, absolutely. It's not as simple as making it bind on legacy. If we made it bind on legacy, then no items ever get bound, and therefore they can't be part of collections, and changing that is something that is not something we're able to do right now. The same way doing bind on equip has its own series of problems that we think is not a great player experience. So we absolutely want to find some way to address this, and we're going to work on that. I don't have the actual answer for you today. I just want to acknowledge that we agree with you that it's not working the way that we really want it to work. Right. And we're going to do our best to give you some kind of solution that helps facilitate your ability to unlock the rewards you want via collections.
Yeah. And just to make it clear so people understand, when we made the conscious decision of making them bind on pickup instead of bind on legacy, because if you had part of the armor sets, because these armor sets have been around from multiple packs before as well, and so if let's say you had most of the Revan armor set, and now you got a new piece in this set, if it was bind on legacy, you wouldn't be able to put those pieces together to make them unlocking collections. Or if you bought them off of the GTN from a previous pack, you couldn't put them together to unlock them in collections. And we felt like that was a worse experience, because you had these pieces and you're like, I just want the whole armor set to be unlocked, and you can't do it. So again, not optimal, but we thought that was the better option to allow you to get them in collections.
Yeah. And so we'll do our best to do something here, and we just need to work out what that something is going to be.
Yep.
The last thing I had as one of the questions I felt like I was seeing is event participation. Now, can't give all the actual details. What I can say is there have been a lot of people participating in the event. I know more anecdotally as opposed to me sharing all the statistics. I know all of us have been creating characters on our various different servers that we live on. And again, and I mentioned this already, but just getting to those first starter planets and seeing 4 to 7 instances spun up with 150 people in each of them has been a really, really cool thing for us to see. And I know there's been a lot of chatter in those channels about how it feels just like launch, which is really cool, because I think, like I said, it brings a lot of memories back for a lot of us who have really fond memories of our time playing Star Wars: The Old Republic from launch all the way through to today. And just seeing guilds being formed and the guides trying to find the fastest way to level, talking about the Warzone experience, things like that has been a really cool thing, and we're excited to see that level of excitement for the event itself.
Yep. So let me see. There's a couple of questions that I've seen come in specifically about Dark vs. Light before we move past this slide. Yep. Someone asking about, I saw this coming up a while ago, Eternal Championship. Do you have to beat it solo or in a group? You can beat it however you want. The achievement is for specifically beating the bosses, so it doesn't matter how many players are with you. Yep. You can do that to your heart's content. Yep. Someone asking about the armor set. So first off, if you don't know, one of the rewards that you get over 3 different tiers is when you have the full armor set, you have 50% bonus experience when leveling, which, for the record, if you're wearing that armor set, is the fastest possible leveling that has ever existed in our game. Even beyond when 12X existed, it is faster than even that.
Yeah. So by the time you get that and you're working on the last couple of characters trying to get them to 50, it is going to be a breeze.
It's going to be lightning. But there is an issue with the second set of items, and we are working on addressing that now. So there is an issue with those. I saw that question coming up. We are aware of it and fixing it.
So, and I think they fixed it already.
Yep.
And then it's going to go live on Wednesday, I believe, with everything else.
Yeah, and whenever we have our update next week, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday, it will most likely come in that update. Yep. I think that was the two specifics that I had seen. Feel free to keep throwing in questions about Dark vs. Light, and I'll grab any out that I see throughout the rest of the stream. So feel free to keep throwing them in there.
Okay.
Oh, actually, wait. The Light vs. Dark companion, is it legacy-wide? It's account-wide. So assuming you've been eligible for that reward, the companion will be delivered to you in the mail, like all the other rewards. Actually, not only just the companion, any of the rewards that come at the end of the event, so the mounts, if you've earned either of those, and the companion, any of those cosmetic rewards will come to your entire account, not just the legacy you earned them on. So if for some reason you happen to have moved to a different server to compete this event, you'll still get those rewards across your entire account.
Right.
So
we definitely don't think there's any questions that we haven't already talked about.
I don't think so. I'm definitely seeing a bunch of questions about 12X, bringing back to 12X experience for the Dark vs. Light event. Again, if you remember when we changed things in Knights of the Fallen Empire, you're actually pretty close to that right now by leveling through class story. So again, that's where once you unlock the pieces of the armor set in Tier 2, you're leveling faster than 12X just from that point already. So you're actually already there.
Yeah, because 12X happened before we revamped the experience curve in the first place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Someone asked if we would do this event again. I don't know that answer yet. We'll see how this pans out once we get through the end of it.
But that is certainly one of those things that we did want to point out. With all the stuff that we talked about today, with any of the criticisms that have come in for the event or things that people would like to see us do differently on reward delivery and all that stuff, keep giving us that feedback, because this is the kind of thing where if we do the event again, we certainly will take this feedback into account and see if there are changes, that small or big, that need to be made to the event. So if we were to do this event again, definitely please keep the feedback coming.
Seeing some more questions about, is Light vs. Dark server specific? No, it's for the game at large.
Yep.
So whichever the total sum of all light and all dark side points for the whole entire game will determine how the entire galaxy receives only one of the companions.
Yep.
It really is the Light versus the Dark event for all of you guys.
Right. Yep. And the last question I see is, do you have to complete lower tiers to complete higher tiers? Yes. But you can complete objectives sooner. So if you want to start working on legendary tier objectives before you've even completed tier 2, you can. You just can't complete that tier until you've completed the tiers before it.
But you get all the credit for it.
Correct, but you will earn credit for it. So most people are working on multiple tiers of stuff at the same time across the entire thing.
So when does the event end? We don't have the exact date right now. It's going for a few months.
You got time.
And we will certainly get more specific on that within the next 2 months.
Yeah, we will give you plenty of notice, because we know that, especially if you're going for like legendary tier, there's a lot of stuff to work towards.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure to give you a lot of time of notice. So we will definitely give you a lot of notice before the event ends to make sure you're fine.
Yep.
And just as one last thing, when we talked about the Dark vs. Light packs, we saw lots of suggestions about making the packs bind on Legacy, making the items BOE but can't be sold on the GTN. Those are all great solutions. It's just that they're not as simple as they sound, which is the reason we haven't done it. That kind of goes to Ben's thing of, we're looking at solutions for this problem of what we can do. Your solutions are all fair and good solutions. It's just a matter of if and when we can implement them.
And we've read them all, and we've discussed all those options. We're just trying to find out, to Eric's point, the best implementation that we can do that makes sense, but that we can also get to you as soon as possible.
Yep. Cool. Oh, and one other thing, sort of related to Dark vs. Light, on a polar parallel, we're seeing people ask about Season 7 PvP rewards, since this is almost like a PvE season. I will work on getting you guys information on that, on an answer to that question. I will work on getting an answer for that, at least so I can give you an idea of timing. Shall we move on? And I'll keep my eyes open on chat, so if you guys have more questions, keep them coming.
All right. Chapter 16.
Sweetest key art. Can we talk about the key art? I know I'm big on the key art all the time.
Sure.
But like,
it's been really cool. It's been really strong.
Fleet in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's almost like it's an eternal.
It does feel very, very eternal.
Yeah. So this comes for early access, July 26th. This is going to be the big, I wouldn't say finale. You know, all endings are also beginnings. I'll say no more than that. But, you know, we did announce there would be 16 chapters with the Fallen Empire storyline, so that's where this is chapter 16.
Yep. A
lot of big stuff is going to go down. You're going to be facing Arkin, Deadly Combat. He's launching an all-out assault against the Alliance base on Odessen. Those of you who've played chapter 15 know that is just the tip of the iceberg of things going on in the galaxy right now. So there's just going to be a whole lot of huge changes, revelations, and a few interesting twists as well coming with this chapter that are really going to set the stage for whatever comes next in the future that I am super excited about.
So when you say face Arkin in deadly combat, can we presume that's literal? Like, do you think I'm going to get the chance to...
You will not...
Is Ben going to die?
You will not be arm wrestling.
Is Ben going to die?
But that's pretty good. I've got a 0% win ratio for all my arm wrestling content so far, which is not ideal because I'm not that small. I'm not very strong, apparently.
To be fair, every time this happens, we're making a joke because we keep making Ben arm wrestle people at cantinas. We also find like the biggest military guy we can find to arm wrestle. It's not like we're giving it to you. We're not making it easy.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing a lot of people...
So if you're big into working out and going to the London Cantina, please don't come so I have to arm wrestle.
Yeah.
But sorry, but will, and you don't have to answer this.
Well, I could hardly answer something like that. We promise no spoilers.
Okay.
Cool. All right then.
I think that's a good question, though. I'm just going to put that on the record.
Yeah. So,
it is good.
So the next slide... Oh, we have the wrap-up still. Right?
Yeah, we have the wrap-up.
Okay, I'm trying to think because there's a few more questions that have come. So here's the...
Well, let's go to this slide.
Okay,
and then we can answer...
It helps if I am actually in the PowerPoint.
We can answer the question.
Yep.
But so the wrap-up, Chapter 15 went live this week. The GEMINI Deception came out with a brand new Cartel market pack. You guys saw some of the cool items we've given away today in the stream. The Darkverse Light event is live now. Make sure you get in there and get playing on some new characters and start exploring all the weird and wonderful ways there are to earn some of the achievements that are in this contest. Subscribe by tomorrow to earn your HK55 decoration. And the big kind of story, the final chapter for the Fallen Empire expansion, the Battle of Odessen, is coming July 26th.
Yep.
And then as per normal, you can do your forum
I'll do my forum wrap-up shortly after we get off of the stream. Any follow-up questions that we don't answer about pretty much anything, put them in the wrap-up thread, and that's where I make sure to go through and answer any questions that we can, and I'll make sure to point them to Ben and Charles as well to get any answers in there.
And before we wrap up, because we'll do some questions, but we do have a teaser from Chapter 16 as the last thing we show you, so if you've made it this far, stick around 5 more minutes while we answer a few more questions, and then we'll roll that clip.
So the couple things that I've seen, again, related to Darkverse Light, there's someone asked, why don't the crystals unlock in collections? There is a bug related to a few of the items that are in the Darkverse Light packs not unlocking in collections. That is a bug, and we are working on fixing it. So that's an actual issue.
And I think that's meant to go in on Tuesday,
I think that's also on Tuesday.
Well,
yeah, like I said, we have a whole bunch of stuff that's coming in that's being fixed next week. Tate will post exactly what those things are probably tomorrow. Tate can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe
once we confirm it all.
Yeah, once we know exactly what is being fixed specifically. I saw a question earlier, and now someone asked about the 8. Like the legendary objective to have all 8 characters. Do I have to keep them or can I delete them? Just to be clear, any of the objectives that are a part of the event at any time, once you have completed them, you do not need the characters anymore. Once an achievement is, that box is checked, you don't need the character anymore. So there's a lot of people who are trying to figure out how can I, they're going to do the whole event with 1 character slot and to do all of that stuff. That is entirely possible, yes. You do not need to keep the character for that progress.
Yep. I saw 2 other questions in there. One was the Nashar Nightlife event, is it coming back anytime soon? We don't have plans right now to do that in the immediate short term, but we know it is a popular event and we are actively looking at ways to put it somewhere in the future, but certainly don't expect that in the short term. The other question was, will the Darkverse Light event impact more than just Companion? Will it have some impact to the galaxy overall? I know Charles and I have a little scheme we're working on to see if we can't do something a little bit more meaningful, some additional things I should say, but no promises there, and if we can work out how to do that, we will announce it at that point in time.
You will know.
But know that we are scheming to do a few additional things for the Light vs. Dark, so that it has some more meaning to you guys in addition to the awesomeness of the Companions.
Good deal. All right, again, we're 15 minutes over. I said this would go longer than 30 minutes. We'll start wrapping this bad boy up. Like I said, any additional questions you guys have, please put them after the forum wrap up, and we'll do our best to answer those questions over the next few days. We really wanted to make sure that this stream covered a lot of the questions that you guys had about general topics, plus the Dark First Light event specifically. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. We'll see you next month we'll do another stream after Chapter 16. I'm also, Tate is telling me to remind the people who won the raffle to please check your messages so that you can get your sweet monolith. Thanks to Charles, or I guess thanks to everybody voting on it. Thanks to Charles. My people are typing monolith. That's it, right?
That's it. Thanks
All
again
right.
for tuning
in, sharing your questions.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll give you guys a little bit of a teaser into Chapter 16.
Yep, so give me 3 seconds to remove our faces from this so you can see the video in all its glory, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
I gotta wait on the right side. See ya.
Someone doesn't like surprises.
Begin the assault.